All right, so today we've got a really interesting mix for our deep dive.
Yeah.
It's business finance, a little tech, and even some politics all mixed in.
Sounds about right.
We've got this Forbes newsletter, and it looks like it covers everything
Oh, wow.
from financial innovations to election predictions.
Really?
So we're going to break it all down, pull out the most important parts, and make sure
Okay.
you walk away feeling informed, not overloaded.
That's the goal.
Definitely.
It is fascinating to see how interconnected all these topics are, though.
It really is.
Like, we'll see how political decisions can really impact the business world, how tech companies are trying to figure out
Right.
what role they play in all of this, and we'll even uncover some surprising trends in how people are getting financing these days.
Okay, speaking of surprises,
Yeah.
let's start with this company, Sunbit.
Okay.
They're really kind of turning the world of consumer lending on its head,
Interesting.
but not in the way you might expect.
Oh.
Instead of focusing on online loans, they're looking at brick-and-mortar businesses,
Huh.
like your mechanic or dentist.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
They've identified this niche that everyone's overlooking,
It's huge.
but it's a massive market.
Yeah.
We're talking $7 trillion.
I know.
And
Yeah.
since it's not as crowded as online lending,
Right.
a company like Sunbit could really dominate.
Exactly. It's like they found this sweet spot
Yeah.
where they offer a service people need,
Uh-huh.
but in a space that's not taken over by online giants.
That makes sense.
And their CEO, Arad Levertov,
Okay.
he said something that really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
He called it non-Amazonable business.
Non-Amazonable.
Basically,
Okay.
he's saying these are services people will always need,
That's a good point.
no matter what happens with online retail.
I see.
People will go to their trusted local businesses to get them.
Yeah, and it's not just about need.
Oh.
It's about loyalty, too.
Okay.
Think about it. You're more likely to build a relationship with your local mechanic or dentist
Yeah.
than with some faceless online company.
Definitely.
So Sunbit is tapping into that trust and loyalty,
Smart.
which is a really smart move.
Now here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Those Sunbit loans, they come with a 20% interest rate.
20%.
It's lower than your average credit card, but it makes you think.
It does.
When does convenient financing cross the line and become risky?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Anytime we're talking about borrowing money,
Yeah,
it's crucial to understand the terms,
for sure.
the fine print,
Definitely.
of what could happen.
Absolutely. Okay.
Big consequences.
So we've talked about financial innovation
Yes.
in these unexpected places.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's switch gears to the upcoming election.
All right.
There's this outlier poll from Iowa
Oh, really?
that has everyone talking.
What's it saying?
It seems like Vice President Harris
Right.
is leading over former President Trump in a state that's usually Republican.
Wow. If you look at the bigger picture, this poll,
Okay.
which was done by J.Ann Seltzer,
Okay.
who is a really well-respected pollster, by the way,
Right.
this could be a sign that things are shifting.
Across the country.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The poll highlighted independent voters,
Mm-hmm.
women, and older voters
Okay.
as the key demographics driving Harris's lead.
Interesting.
And those are groups that could have a massive impact
Got
on
it.
the election.
Okay. So that brings us to Boeing.
Boeing.
The article suggests that if Trump wins,
Mm.
it could spell trouble for them.
Really?
We're talking trade wars,
Oh, wow.
tariffs,
Ah.
potential impacts on the defense budget,
I-
and arms exports.
So even if you don't follow Boeing closely
Yeah.
or invest in the stock market,
Okay.
this shows how political outcomes can
Mhm.
impact entire industries.
It's all connected.
It really is.
Politics and business.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've gone from consumer loans at the dentist's office
Okay.
to the potential impact of the election on Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's jump to the digital world with TikTok.
TikTok, all right.
This is where things get really interesting.
How so?
They've got this massive user base,
Yeah.
bigger than the number of people who voted in 2020,
Well, that's a lot of people.
but they're constantly walking this tightrope
Okay.
when it comes to political content.
It's tricky, right?
It is.
They want to be a platform for free expression,
Right.
but there's also this concern about misinformation and things getting out of control.
For sure.
So to address that, they've got this internal team
Okay.
called Project Core,
Project Core.
and they focus on navigating this really tricky balance.
I can imagine.
Just imagine being on that team,
Wow.
trying to decide what's okay and what's not
Right.
on a platform with more users than voters.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
So how are they handling it?
Well, it seems like they've landed on a pretty nuanced approach.
Okay.
They ban ads that endorse candidate
Tis. Oh, yeah.
parties or platforms.
But they allow ads that focus on broader political issues.
Right, like abortion or immigration. It
Yeah.
really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This tension between free speech
Right.
and
Yeah.
responsible content moderation.
Right.
How do you create a space for open discussion
Right.
without giving a platform to harmful viewpoints?
It's something all social media is facing.
Exactly, and it makes you think
It does.
about how we consume news today.
Yeah. In the digital age.
Yeah, how do we filter through all the noise
Right.
and decide what to believe?
And what role do these platforms play
Right.
in shaping our opinions?
Exactly. Speaking of shaping opinions,
Okay.
let's talk about some economic
Right.
symbols
Okay.
that might be raising eyebrows.
Like what?
Well, the latest jobs report for October
Uh-huh.
showed the weakest job growth
Really?
since December of 2020.
Huh.
Only 12,000 jobs added.
That's surprising.
It is, considering how strong the market has been.
So what's going on?
Well, economists at Bank of America
Okay.
have pointed to a couple potential explanations,
Okay.
like severe weather events,
Okay.
Hurricane Milton, for example,
Uh-huh.
and the worker strikes.
Okay, so maybe not time to panic yet,
Right.
but definitely something to watch.
Definitely on a more positive note, though,
Okay.
there's been some movement with the billionaires.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Bezos is now the second richest person.
Wow.
He overtook Larry Ellison.
Okay.
And this seems to be driven by Amazon's strong earnings.
I see.
It's interesting to contrast that
Okay.
with the potential challenges Tesla's facing.
Oh, really?
Edmunds did a survey
Okay.
and found that 31% of car shoppers
Wow, that's a lot.
are less likely to buy a Tesla
Okay.
because of Elon Musk's politics.
Interesting.
So his support for Trump
Yeah.
might actually be hurting his business.
Wow, so brand image is important.
It is.
Oh.
And this ties into something else about Elon Musk. Okay, what's that?
This United States of America, Inc. entity,
Yeah, what is that?
it seems like it's linked to his efforts
Uh-huh.
to support Trump's return to the White House.
Wow, so we've gone from consumer loans at the dentist's office
Right.
to billionaire rankings
Yeah.
to political leanings of tech CEOs
This is all connected.
and how it impacts their
It
companies.
really is.
Business, politics, and the economy are all intertwined.
Absolutely. And to wrap up,
Okay,
let's touch on a few innovations and insights
sounds good.
that you might find helpful.
Okay, so AI is in dentistry now.
It is.
What is this overjet technology?
It's pretty remarkable, actually.
Right.
They use AI to take dental x-rays
Uh-huh.
and turn them into clear, annotated images.
So easier to understand.
Exactly, for both dentists and patients.
So like a translator for your teeth.
Exactly.
That's cool.
The idea is that by making things clearer,
Yeah,
patients will be more likely to follow treatment plans.
makes sense.
And that leads to better oral health. It's a perfect example of how AI can improve healthcare.
In a practical way.
Speaking of practical things,
Yes,
the 401k contribution limits for 2025 are going up.
that's right.
Right.
The annual maximum is going up to $23,500,
Okay.
which is a slight increase from this year.
Okay.
And for those 60 or older,
Hmm.
the catch-up contribution limit is even higher,
So much.
$11,250.
That's great to know.
It is, as we all plan for retirement.
Okay, one last topic before we wrap up.
Right.
Hybrid work.
Yeah, everyone's talking about it.
Does it actually work?
Well, research suggests
Okay.
it can boost job satisfaction
Okay.
and reduce quit rates.
That's good.
It is, but
Oh, there's a but.
there is a big but.
Okay.
It requires a very intentional approach to team building.
So it's not just about letting people work from home.
Uh-oh.
It sounds like there's more to it than
Yeah.
just saying, hey, everyone work from home a few days a week.
Right, it's not that simple.
So what are some of the key ingredients?
Well, you need a few things.
Okay.
First, you need shared principles and values.
Okay.
What does your company stand for?
Right.
What are the non-negotiables?
Yeah.
Regardless of where people are working.
Makes sense. What else?
Then you have to make sure communication is crystal clear.
Okay.
No room for ambiguity
Right.
or assumptions when it comes to hybrid.
Gotcha.
And perhaps most importantly,
Okay.
leadership needs to be fully committed.
Oh, yeah. They have to buy in.
You have to set the tone,
Okay.
model the behavior,
Uh-huh.
and be champions for the hybrid model.
So it's about creating a culture
It is.
that embraces flexibility and connection,
Exactly.
even when people aren't in the same space.
You want to empower individuals to work how they want,
Okay.
but also foster teamwork and collaboration.
Yeah. It's a balance.
It is, but when you get it right,
Right.
the benefits can be significant.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today,
Yeah.
from financial innovations to the dance between politics, technology, and the economy.
Right.
It's clear the world is constantly changing.
Absolutely. And with all this information,
Yeah,
it's more important than ever
right.
to be thoughtful about what we consume.
Yeah, I agree.
How do we develop our own frameworks
Right.
for evaluating information?
That's a great question.
How do we separate fact from fiction?
Right. Yeah.
And how do we understand how it all impacts our lives?
I encourage everyone to think about that.
It's something to consider.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
in
yeah.
this deep dive into these fascinating topics.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful
Yeah.
and maybe even a little bit thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking. That's the goal.
It is. We encourage you to keep exploring these ideas.
Definitely. And let us know what you think.
Yeah, what questions do you have?
What insights have you found?
The journey of learning never ends.
It really doesn't.
Until next time, stay curious.
The curious